Schools are reopening locally and across the nation, but the debate is far from settled about how safe they will be in this coronavirus era. Investigative reporter Brendan Kirby is standing by live with more information. Brendan, it has been an interesting year with this COVID.
It sure has, Lenise, and you can find an anecdote or a study to support either side. We probably won't know for sure until schools have been open for weeks or months. There are conflicting results in countries where schools already have reopened or never closed, but a consensus seems to be forming that the risks are lower with younger children and higher with teenagers. A study of 5,700 COVID-19 patients in South Korea found kids younger than 10 spread the virus at half the rate as adults. The transmission rate of children ages 10 to 19, however, resembled that of adults.
So we don't see as much symptomatic infection in children. We do know that they can contribute to asymptomatic spread because, again, if they have infection and they are mildly ill, they may just, cough it up to a stomach ache or overheating or something like that and not recognize that it's actually a COVID-19 infection.
That was Mobile County Health Department epidemiologist Rendy Murphy, who fears this school year will feature a series of closures and reopenings similar to what local businesses have seen. A study from Germany that drew widespread interest found that children have a low so-called viral load, which may make it harder for them to pass it to other people. A study in May published in the Journal of the American Medical Association reached a similar conclusion. But a study just this month in the Journal of Pediatrics found children had higher levels of the virus in their airways than hospitalized adults in intensive care. The Mobile County school system remains closed. The Baldwin County school system, meanwhile, has reported a handful of COVID-related absences a day, most of them not actual confirmed cases. Statewide, less than 10% of coronavirus cases have been children younger than 18, even though that age group makes up 22% of the overall population. Dr. David Grems, chairman of pediatrics at the University of South Alabama Medical School, says it's impossible to make a sound decision about whether schools are safe without evaluating the larger community.
If children are in a community, so a rural area where they might have limited internet access and fewer resources for online learning, and there's a low incidence of infection in the community, those children may benefit more from being in school. If you're in a community where there's a high incidence of infection, then the risk may be a little bit different.
As Alabama presses ahead with an uncertain school year, public health officials and educators alike are holding their breath. Reporting live for Fox 10 News, this is Brendan Kirby.